what's happening, everybody? Welcome back, man. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, whatever you were celebrating. Hope you had a great day yesterday. And I thought, you know what? I bet there are a lot of people who got their first guitar today, or maybe you got a new guitar. And I was like, why don't I do a video about the first things you should do with your first guitar? So we're gonna talk about things that are super crucial to understand and to do with your new guitar right away. So if you did just get your first guitar yesterday, welcome, or just at any point that you're watching this video, welcome to the world of guitar. It is one of the most amazing things you will ever do. And to anyone who, like myself, who's been playing for a while, leave recommendations and comments down below for first-time players. And we're gonna go ahead and dive on into this. Alright, now we're going to start with one that I have mentioned in a previous video, but I want to mention it again because I think it is so crucial. This is something that I found through teaching helped a lot with students, and that is, of course, if you just got your first guitar, keep the guitar out. I can't stress it enough how important it is just seeing the guitar, keeping it in the back of your mind that it's there, because it's a new thing. You're finding time to practice, all these different things. Like, you're creating a lot of new things, your hands are learning new functions, all this stuff is new. So make sure you keep that guitar out. Now, I know sometimes there's circumstances that maybe you have a little toddler or, a big mastiff dog that's going to knock it over. So I understand there's some situations where you can't leave the guitar out, but if at all possible, invest in one of these things. Right here, this is a guitar stand. I don't even know how much these guitar stands are anymore. I think they're like 10 bucks or something. I'm not sure. These are old ones I've had for years at this point, but get one of those, have your guitar out as much as possible. That way you see it and it's a constant reminder. If you put it in a case and put it in the closet and kind of keep it out of the way, it falls in the back of your mind. And you got to understand, you're trying to develop this new thing. Like I said, you want new habits, new practice time. You've got to find time to do all this stuff. So keeping the guitar out just keeps it in the back of your mind, and I think it's a really powerful tool to learn a guitar. Alright, so next on the list is don't start tomorrow, start today. If you got your guitar today, yesterday, tomorrow, the next day, whenever you get your guitar, start playing it right then. And I know that you might not know how to necessarily play any music on it yet, but hold the guitar, just get used to holding it. Even, holding a guitar is weird at first. Don't put off. Like, you might look at the guitar and put it in the case like, I'll start it on the weekend, I'll start it tomorrow, all that kind of stuff. Don't do it. Start right now. Get used to holding the guitar. I'm telling you, balancing a guitar is weird. Like you said, you'll notice if you're just playing a guitar for the first time, even holding a guitar, like trying to hold it and take your hands off of it like this, is probably not something that you can do. Or just like, freely like moving around. It's just because you have to learn how to balance and hold a guitar. That is a lesson in itself. Just learning how to hold the guitar comfortably. Make sure you're not holding it down like this or up like this. It sits right on your lap very comfortably. And it just takes some time to get to where you have balance of the guitar. Like how some guitars are neck heavy, some guitars are bottom heavy. Like, you have to adjust to the guitar. But I'm telling you, start playing it today, right now. Don't wait. Get playing it, because there's a lot of very simple things you could do. You could play, obviously Smoke on the Water. I can't play it because it'll get copyright, but Smoke on the Water is an incredibly simple one to learn. Learn the Nothing Else Matters intro. That's something I've taught every beginner that I've ever taught. My son was, starting to play guitar, and I taught him that. And he was excited because it sounded like music. And it's already, it takes a lot of, especially right-hand skills to jump around between those strings. So don't wait. Find something to play today, even if it's just sitting there picking a string open. Try alternate picking. If you haven't heard of the technique because you're just starting out, alternate picking is basically where you pick down, up, down, up. A lot of times in the beginning you want to pick all down, or some people pick all up. Alternate. Just pick a low E string. Pick down, up, down, up, down. Just get to where you're playing the guitar and you're getting used to it. Now, this one isn't necessarily about playing the guitar itself, but I think it's really something that a lot of players have to come to terms with pretty early on, especially, for a beginner. You definitely need to understand that the guitars are going to get beat up. Now, this guitar is Relic, so, it was pretty beat up. But even it has been dropped and I've knocked it off the chair and stuff like that. But just understand your guitar is going to get beat up. It's okay. Guitars are pretty dang tough, there aren't many things that you're going to do to it that you're going to like ruin the guitar. You know, you hear about headstock breaks. That's usually something pretty intense that happens to the guitar. But as long as you're careful with it, you know, like I said, you're not putting it in risky situations like bouncing it off of your roof or something like that. I mean, then something bad could happen to it. But you know what? Just understand that you're going to get nicks and dings. You're going to knock the headstock into 1,000 things. And, you know, you're going to, like me, as a kid, walking out the door, trip and the screen door hits the guitar and puts the ding in it. And just, there's a million little things. But just understand that the guitar is going to get beat up. It's okay. Like I said, odds are you're not going to hurt it. And the guitar overall is a pretty simple instrument as far as what could go wrong with it. Maybe your input jack can go bad, your pickup selector. Very simple fixes. Just take it to a guitar shop. Now, this next one is going to tie in with one I mentioned before, but even if you're not playing the guitar, try to get into the habit of picking the guitar up every day. Like I said, if you got a guitar for Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, you have already had your guitar now for 2 days of me filming this video. I'm filming this video the day after Christmas. So you've already had 2 days. So have you picked up your guitar both of those days? If you have, you're doing great. You know, learn something on it if you can. But even just picking the guitar up, like I said, it's all about creating the habit of playing the guitar because it's new. So every single day, regardless if you even play it, just, you know, and what I mean by play it is like playing chords or, you know, notes or something. Just sit there and if you have to, strum it open. You know, especially if you're a parent trying to get a kid to learn the guitar, just let them have some fun with the guitar. Like I said, just holding the guitar on its own, you're learning. Like I said, you know, maybe it's not as powerful as learning how to play a chord, but you're still learning, and it's a very, very useful thing to do. Just have them or yourself pick up the guitar every single day. I spent the first 3 months, I remember, I actually quit playing guitar and then came back to it. But for the first 3 months, all I could do was, I made DJ sounds, like that was it. That was all I knew how to do on guitar. But I just kept picking it up and kept doing it, and eventually, you know, I came back to it and really learned it. But it was all about, the guitar was just kind of like in my mindset at that point. Like I was just used to picking it up. So even that can be a really useful thing. Now this last one is the 6th one. If I called the video 5 something, here's an extra one. If I didn't, well, just here's the 6th one. And it is about setting goals. I've mentioned this in a lot of other videos too. It's so crucial. If you are just starting out, understand that sometimes, you know, music is more difficult than what we might think it is. Like, you know, your ear isn't really trained yet, but it will be. It's just not trained yet in the art of kind of dissecting what is going on. So maybe you hear something like you're listening to a Pantera song or something, and you're like, oh, maybe that doesn't, I could probably learn that. Pantera stuff is really difficult. Dimebag Darrell's one of the greatest guitar players who's ever lived, and his stuff is really difficult. So that one might be too complicated to set as a first goal, because you want to have big goals and you want to have pretty achievable goals too. That way it's very motivating to get to those big goals. So, you know, maybe a really achievable goal could be, in the beginning stages, I don't know, More Than a Feeling. You know, that could be a really achievable one. That's really good on chords. It works on a lot of different stuff. It's still challenging, but it's not, you know, Pantera challenging, which would be really difficult. So try to set those goals and try to find players who maybe you're friends with who can help you set goals. Be like, you know, is this song too tough? Because that was one of the big things. I'd have a lot of students come in and talk to me. You know, they would have this song. I'd be like, I'll be honest, I think that song is a little bit too difficult for now. So why don't we set that as a big goal, and why don't we work on this? And we would kind of build our way up to it, and then we would get to that big song, and then it would be like super rewarding for the student. So just try that out as well. Like I said, find players who can help you set goals, or just set goals yourself. There's so many online resources nowadays. There's a lot of people who will tell you, you know, beginner songs that are fairly simple. And that is going to be it. Like I said, if you got your first guitar, congratulations. If you just got a new guitar for Christmas, well, congratulations. I hope you enjoy it. The guitar is an incredible instrument. It has certainly changed my life, and it's changed, you know, many of other players who have picked up guitar. It's taken over their life. You know, that's probably a an accurate representation of what it did for me. It just took over my life, and I love it so much. So welcome to the world of guitar. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you guys probably on Saturday. There won't be a video Friday. There'll be one on Saturday. So I'll see you all later. Whoop!